elections or assembly elections in 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha is recognized as national party. For state party or regional party, a party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in the an election to the legislative assembly of a state or wins at least 2 seats in the legislative assembly is recognized as a state party or regional party. So according to the Election Commission of India, there are over political parties are there. So almost as we discussed in previous class, there are 8 national parties are there, and also there are there include 8 recognized national parties and more than 50 recognized state parties. So other than 8 national parties, that is Indian National Congress, BJP, Nationalist Congress Party, NCP, Communist parties, CPI and CPIM, PSP, RJD, All India Trinamool Congress and National People's Party. So most of the major parties of the country are classified by the Election Commission as state parties. These are commonly referred to as regional parties. So as part of our syllabus, regional parties in India are regarded as any political party with its headquarters in a single state or single region or single area. So irrespective of its purpose and medium. So the Election Commission has majorly classified numerous parties as state parties. These are also renowned as regional parties. Other than the 8 national parties, there are around 50 regional parties are there in India. So these parties enjoy special privileges and other facilities acknowledged by the Election Commission of India, which is why they are also referred to as recognized parties also. So it is essential to know the features, classification, and factors that lead to the rise of regional party. So the existence of several cultural, ethnic, religious, linguistic, and caste groups within an Indian communities is significantly liable to the source and development of regional parties in India. So in India, regional parties are based on themes like identity, statehood, autonomy, and development, etc. So as we discussed in previous class, so autonomy consists of demanding greater powers to the states, like the National Conference in Jammu Kashmir. Statehood consists of fighting for an independent state with the country, like the Telangana Rashtra Samiti demanded a separate state of Telangana. And another one is identity-based. Identity consists of fighting for recognition of cultural rights of a group, like Shiva Sena in Maharashtra or the DMK in for the fighting for the identity of Dalits in Tamil Nadu. So some of parties with development based. So development consists of regional parties believing that only they can bring development in the people of that particular region. So sometimes regional parties create particular cultural specificities for electoral gains. So So, so if we see the evolution of a regional party over the 4 decades, the number and strength of regional parties has expanded because this has made Parliament of India politically more diverse, because regional political parties have emerged to fulfill regional aspirations. So no one national party is able to secure on its own majority in Lok Sabha. So as a result, the national parties are compelled to form alliances with state parties. So the regional political parties started playing a crucial role in coalition politics since 1989. So coalition politics we'll discuss later. So it is because of regional political parties that our party system has been federalized. So the center has begun to address their problems and respond their aspirations through accommodation. So the evolving nature of our party system has strengthened the cooperative trends of our federal system. So if we see the Indian party system from 1952 to 1964, the Nehruvian era of national consensus. So the Congress party was the dominant party during this era, and Indian democracy was essentially a one-party system, also termed as Congress system. So Congress evolved as the party that was like a big umbrella under which all communities and interests and ideologies sought and got a place. So there were many small parties competing with the Congress, but they acted mainly as a kind of pressure groups at the time of 1952 to 1964. And 1964 to 77, with the death of Jawaharlal Nehru in 1967, elections posed challenge to dominance of the Congress system. And the Congress failed to secure majorities in 8 states, and its majority in the Lok Sabha was reduced to very narrow 54% of the seats. So then regional parties started growing all over the country. So later from 1977 to 80, a period of new consensus and increasing inter-party conflict. So new coalition emerged led by Janata Party in 1977. This led to emergence a multi-party system in India, and many smaller parties had come together to fight the Congress dominance rather than any ideological consensus. So, but the lack of ideologically coherent policy led to fall of Janata Party, and Congress gained rise of power in 1980. So from 1980 to 1989, the Congress at the center and newly emerged regional parties at the state level also have to observe the time period. However, the regional parties got strengthened and stated playing a more assertive role in center politics. So in the 8th Lok Sabha elections in 1984, the Telugu Desam Party, a regional party of Andhra Pradesh, emerged as the main opposition party in the Lok Sabha during that period. So from 1989 to 2014, multi-party system and coalition politics happened. So the death of Rajiv Gandhi and corruption cases like Bofors scandal, economic crisis, all set to tone for an era of coalitions. So that has lasted almost 25 years of coalition governments. So the modern era of coalition politics has come into being a consequence of the development of the multi-party system. So, however, this period marked by compulsion of coalition. So, if you see, the growth of regional parties also lead to rainbow coalitions, so-called because like the rainbow, they last only a short time. So, the period of 1996 to 99 had 3 general elections, which cost a lot of public money and also policy paralysis. So, and delay in decision making and other conduct of decision implementations will be raised by the majority parties in the coalition. And also, in times of emergency, coalition coordination can lead to unacceptable delays also. So, coalition government has turned politics in India of North India into one of competition for vote banks based on caste and community, etc. So, regional parties fill a vacuum for protecting minorities, and it paves the way for a kind of electoral federalism. So from 2014 to now, resurgence of one-party system, two general elections, 2014 and 2019, saw a single party BJP on its own getting the full majority, breaking the 25 years of compulsions of coalition politics. However, the government is still out of alliance of many political parties. So, but the outlook of regional parties now appears to be changing from conflictual orientation to a tendency of cooperative bargaining in respect of center-state relations. So now the financial problems and also in center-state relations are the main focus for attention. So today, the regional parties have provided new dimension to the process of national integration and national building. So if we see today, the regional parties have made a strong impact on the nature of center-state relations in India. So they are a natural consequence of a democratic system based on adult franchise in multi-ethnic, multiracial, multi-religious, and multilinguistic societies in India. Thus, their growth is in synergy with the entire spirit of democracy. This is all about the growth of regional parties. So, if we see some of regional parties in India, like as part of our syllabus, we have Telugu Desam Party and YSRCP, Yojana Shramika Rait Congress Party, and Janasena Party, Telangana Janasamiti, Telangana Prajala Party, Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam Party, DMK, All India Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam Party, AIADMK, and Shiromani Akali Party, Assam Gana Parishad, Shivasena Party, and other regional parties like Aam Aadmi Party, Biju Janata, many parties also mentioned in our syllabus. So if we see the major features of regional parties in India is, one is it's generally operates within a specific state or specific region. Its electoral base is limited to a single region, and it articulates regional interests of and identities itself with a particular cultural, religious, linguistic, or ethnic group. So it is primarily concerned with exploiting the local resources of discontent or preserving a variety of primordial demands based on language, caste, and community or region. And also it focuses mainly on local or regional issues and aims to capture political power at the state level. It has no inclination to expand and control the central government. So it has a political desire for greater regional autonomy of states in the Indian Union. So these are the features of regional parties in India. So if you see the details about some regional parties. So one is about, as we discussed in previous class, TRS party. So today we will discuss about some of regional parties like TDP. So Telugu Desam Party, popularly known as TDP, is a regional party which is founded by popular Telugu actor, Telugu film star Sri N.T. Ramarao on 29th March of 1982. So since 1995, the party is headed by Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu. So the Telugudesam party played a significant role in the erstwhile state of Andhra Pradesh for several decades. It achieved landslide victory in the state general elections held in 1983 within a few months of its formation. So later on, Nara Chandrababu Naidu played key role as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh and leader of Telugudesam party. In the ensuing elections held later, the party could not get majority in Lok Sabha and Assembly elections. Nara Chandrababu Naidu played a key role in national politics and earned the epithet as the kingmaker at the center. So TDP joined in coalition partner in the United Front Ministry at the center. It extended support to the BJP-led NDA National Democratic Alliance from 1999 to 2004 without becoming the part of ministry. So TDP lost the power in 2004 Assembly elections. From 2004 to 2014, it played an active role as an opposition party in the state. So in 2014, the state of Andhra Pradesh was bifurcated with the formation of Telangana. So in the newly formed state of Andhra Pradesh, termed as Navyandhra, the TDP won considerable majority and formed the government. So presently, the TDP is the main opposition party in Andhra Pradesh. So this is about Telugudesam party. So YSRCP, Yuvajana Shramika Raith Congress Party, popularly known as YSR Congress Party, is a regional political party in the states of AP and Telangana. So the president of this party is Sri Y.S. Jagannath Reddy, the son of former Chief Minister Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy, and both Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy and Y.S. Jagannath Reddy had been the members of Indian National Congress. So, however, things took a different turn after the sudden death of the Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy in a helicopter crash in 2009. His son Jagannath Reddy, without consulting the Congress leadership, started the Odarp Yatra. So, that condolence tour. So, across the AP to console those who died shocked with the death of YSR. So this was interpreted by the Congress leaders as Jagan's attempt to take advantage of his father's death to gain political interest. So the Congress High Command ordered him to call off the tour. Then Jagannath Reddy paid no heed to it. More so, Sakshi, the newspaper TV channel run by YSR family, continuously attacked by K. Roshaya, the then Chief Minister of AP, who appointed by Sonia Gandhi to the high office, like High Command, ignoring the wish of Jagannath Reddy. So later, the YSRCP in a very short time became a popular party in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Many congressmen joined in YSR Congress Party. All this necessitated to have by elections. So in the initial times of newly bifurcated AP, YSRCP acted as a opposition in AP State Legislative Assembly. The party played a key role in demanding special status for Andhra Pradesh. At present, they are in power in AP. So Y.S. Jagannath Reddy is the present Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. So and another one more party is Janasena Party. Janasena Party is one of the parties in the states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. It was founded by Pawan Kalyan. The motto of this party is to fight for the rights of each and every common person. So the ideology of the party stands on Indian nationalism and democratic socialism. So the Janasena Party Chief Pawan Kalyan has released election manifesto of 2019 elections, following some of common highlights of party's manifesto, like free food students by and arts and science college for every mandal level, financial support at 25 paise interest to the small business, Chief Minister to be brought under Lokayukta.
Who is the president of Janasena Party?
What happened?
Who is the president of Janasena Party?
Pawan Kalyan.
Okay. One more thing, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, so this is all about Janasena Party. So there are several regional parties also there. Due to lack of time, we are not discussing about it. Just to read out your textbook for another regional parties. So we will go for the next lesson, that is about coalition politics, second chapter. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the important features of coalition governments and the meaning of coalition governments and coalition politics in India. So the term coalition is taken from the word coalitio, which means moving together. So according to all, coalition politics involves the working of a coalition government wherein several political parties form a government. In simple words, a coalition government is that government which is formed by different political parties which come together without losing their identity. So if we say in simple words, after the general elections, if no party gains complete majority to form government, so then two or more parties will unite and form the government. So that we will call it as coalition government. So it is an alliance of distinct political parties having common agreed or common agenda. So it's a cooperative agreement to form government. So that will be called as coalition government. So coalition government is a form of government in which political parties cooperate to form a government. So the usual reason for such an arrangement is that no single party has achieved an absolute majority after an election. So that's what we call it as coalition government. So as part of our syllabus, the term coalition is derived from the Latin word coalitio, which means to grow together, thus technically. But here coalition means the act of uniting parties into one body or whole. So coalition means an alliance of distinct political parties in simple words. So coalition usually occurs in modern parliaments when no single party can muster a majority of votes. Two or more parties who have enough elected members between them to form a majority. So may then be able to agree a common program that does not require too many drastic compromises with their individual policies and can proceed to form government. So if we see the common features of coalition governments, are coalition is a formed for the sake of reward or material or psychic. So because their intention is to form government, to run the government. So a coalition implies the existence of at least two partners or two or more parties, but at least two partners should be there to call it as coalition. So the underlying principle of coalition system stands on the simple fact of temporary conjunction of specific interest. So the coalition politics is not a static but a dynamic affair, as coalition players and groups can dissolve and form new ones. So the keynote of coalition politics is compromise and rigid dogma has no place in it. So this coalition works on the basis of minimum program, which may not be ideal for each partner of the coalition. So here, pragmatism and not ideology is the hallmark of coalition politics. In making political adjustments, principles may have to be set aside. And also, the purpose of a coalition government is to seize power. So, in India, coalitions have come up before and after elections. So, the pre-poll coalition is considered advantageous as it provides a common platform for all parties to who the electorate on the basis of joint manifesto. And also, a post-election union is intended to enable constituents to share political power and run the government. So, if we see the goal of coalition government is to gain control of the situation. So coalition politics is defined by program rather than ideology. So principles may have to be laid aside in order to make political concessions. So all the coalition government members are selected to the cabinet to ensure the government's smooth operation by establishing shared goals through agendas and tactics. If we see the merits and demerits of coalition government, majorly there are several merits and demerits are there. We will see first merits. So one is in the functioning of the government, various interests are accommodated, and a coalition government serves as a conduit for meeting the expectations of various groups and resolving their problems. And in India is a country with a wide range of interests. So cultures, languages, castes, religions, and ethnic groups all exist. And this means that the coalition government is more reflective of the electorate and reflects popular opinion. And also, a coalition government is made up of several political parties, each with its own ideology and own purpose and own policy also. So, however, government policy necessitates the agreement of all coalition partners. So, as a result, a coalition government leads to politics based on consensus. So, the federal fabric of the Indian political system is strengthened by these coalition politics. So this is due to the fact that a coalition administration is more receptive to regional aspects and requests. So despotic control is less likely with a coalition government, and this is due to the government's functioning being less dominated by a single political party. So the coalition's members are all involved in decision-making process, and sometimes it will delay the decision-making. So someone agrees and someone disagrees with the decision-making. If we see the demerits of these coalition government, like they are unstable or at the risk of becoming unstable also. So the government falls apart due to differences of opinion among coalition members. So in a coalition administration, the Prime Minister must confer with the coalition partners before going to make key decisions. So if we see at the time of Manmohan Singh, and sometimes in Atal Bihari Vajpayee led NDA government also, and the first Modi government during 2014 also. So the coalition partners steering committee or coordination committee functions as a super cabinet. So undermining the cabinet's role and the positions in the working of the government machinery. And also there is a chance that the coalition government's smaller constituency will act as a kingmaker sometimes. In the parliament, they demand more than just strength also. So regional leaders participate in national decision-making by bringing regional facts to the fore. So they put pressure on the central executive to act on their demands also. If they don't, they will threaten to leave the coalition. If they leave the coalition, the government will be collapsed. So that fear will to approve their demands. So by the major parties in that coalition. So the coalition government members do not take responsibility for the administrative mistakes and shortcomings. And also they could conduct blame games to avoid individual and communal responsibility. So a coalition is a grouping of several political parties. So in that group, some majority of parties will be there. So if you see the unstable are prone to instability, the critics have called them as super prime ministers or ultra prime ministers during the coalition governments. So possibility of the smaller constituents in the government will play as kingmakers. So the size of the Council of Ministers is generally quite larger than normal single party government. So because of coalition government, everyone wants to be part of the government. So all party members will be in the cabinet. So at that time, the size of the cabinet will be quite larger than usual government. So if you see the formation of coalition governments in India from 1977 to present, the first coalition government is Janata Party led coalition government. At that time, Morarji Desai, during the time of 1977 to 79. Later, 1979 to 1980, Janata Party secular formed coalition government under the leadership of Charan Singh. Later, 1989 to 1990, National Front led by VP Singh from Janata Dal Party. Later in 1990 to 91, Janata Dal Socialist or Samajwad Janata Party, that is led by Chandrasekhar. And in 1996 to 97, United Front led by H.D. Devagowda from Janata Dal Party. From 1997 to 1998, United Front led by I.K. Gujral from Janata Dal Party. Later, 1997 to 98, BJP-led coalition under the leadership of Atal Bihari Vajpayee from Bharatiya Janata Party. Later, in 1990 to 2004, NDA led by Atal Bihari Vajpayee from Bharatiya Janata Party. After that, 2004 to 2009, United Progressive Alliance, UPA, under the leadership of Manmohan Singh from Indian National Congress. Later, 2009 to 2014, the same UPA Alliance, UPA-2, led by Manmohan Singh from Indian National Congress. Later on, 2014 to 2019, NDA under the leadership of Narendra Modi, and 2019 to at present time, NDA led by Narendra Modi from Bharatiya Janata Party. So these are the highlights in coalition governments in Indian political system. So India is a highly diversified country. There are different cultures, languages, castes, regions, and ethnic groups. This means that coalition governments more representative in nature and reflects the popular opinion of the electorate. So this coalition government comprises different political parties. So in coalition government, every party has the same right to run the government. So if they not allowed to take decisions in major key issues, they will threaten to the other parties to leave the political that alliance. So that's what the smaller party will play its role as kingmaker in the major key decision-making process. So at that time, the leaders of regional parties bring in the regional facts in the regional decision-making power. So this is about coalition politics. So as part of our syllabus here, some more characteristics also there, like formation. As we discussed, a coalition government is not government of a single political party. It is formed by an alliance of 2 or more political parties. So that's what we call it as coalition government. Sometimes pre-poll alliances will be there, or post-poll alliances will be there. So, and also joining and parting, the political parties in the coalition come together under certain circumstances, and sometimes they part company if their circumstances cease to exist. And free choice, the parties in the coalition are not generally bound to stay together. If they want to withdraw from this government, they can leave the coalition at any time. For example, DMK was part of NDA first, but it withdrew itself before 2004 elections and joined the UPA. So in the coalition government may have some sort of common minimum program which is acceptable to all the parties. For example, the UPA and the NDA, other with some common minimum program or agenda during the elections period. So sometimes some support from outside will be there to form coalition government, may receive the support from some other political parties to get the required majority. The UPA and the NDA governments had to receive the support of some other parties which were not their partners. So nature of responsibility will be different rather than usual government. So the ministers in a coalition government are under the influence of the leaders of their respective parties rather than under the leadership of the prime minister. So some selfish interests will be there, demands and compromises will be there during this running of coalition governments. So this is all about coalition governments existing in Indian political system. So if you see, there are several social factors also there in Indian political system. If you see, India is having a diverse features in the Indian political system. So if you see the role of caste, religion, and ethnicity in Indian politics. So India is pigeonholed by more ethnic and religious groups as compared to other countries of the world. So many intellectuals viewed India is a captivating country where the people of many different communities and religions live together in harmony. So Indian population is polygenetic and is an astonishing merger of various races. and cultures. Besides numerous castes, there are 8 major religions, 15 odd languages spoken in various dialects, and substantial number of tribes and sects also there. So politics is the science of government and the part of ethics which has to do with the regulation and government of a nation or state. So the politics as a notion generally applied to the art or science of running governmental or state affairs, including behavior within civil governments, but also applies to institutions, fields, and special interest groups such as corporate, academic, and religious segments of society. So it consists of social relations involving authority or power. So all over the world, the political processes have ascended out of social environment. So tribes, clans, castes, classes have existed around a social organization. So here, economy, polity, religion, family, and kinship networks have operated under a social structure. So famous philosopher Aristotle asserted that the man is a political animal. So he had in mind in the social element. So when elaborating the Indian society, it is multi-ethnic as well as multi-religious also. Indian religions are pantheistic, in which are the nature is visualized as a manifestation of theology. So there is an immense significance of politics in India, such as to run the country more effectively, to manage the country with good rules and norms, to look the internal affairs about the development of the country. So to represent the country to the outside world, to issue different policies for the country. So if you see in the contemporary Indian scenario, the caste is playing important role in Indian political system. So caste mobilization has become an important factor in determining Indian politics. So according to Risley, caste is a collection of families bearing a common name, claiming a common descent from mythical ancestor. So divine or human and processing to follow same hereditary calling and regarded by those who are competent to give an opinion as forming a single homogeneous community. So it is call it as caste. So M.N. Srinivas held that caste system was not entirely rigid. Mobility was permitted. He coined the term Sanskritization. Persons of lower caste adopted the practices of Brahmins. Example, stopped eating non-vegetarian food, thus reducing the pollution, and have been elevated to the higher status. There are many examples among Shudras who have been elevated to the status of Kshatriyas. So there are also examples where untouchables, example, Jataus in Agra have been Sanskritized. However, once reservation have been introduced, they have been desanskritized. So M.N. Srinivas have given the concept of dominant caste. So the term upper caste is misleading. We have to understand the role of dominant caste in India. Dominant caste denote the castes holding economic power, social power, and political power. In most of the situations, upper castes like Brahmins and Kshatriyas are not the dominant castes. So the three characteristics which make a caste dominant caste, there may be regional variations. They are like landowners, numerical majority, social status. For example, Yadavs are the dominant caste in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Jats are the dominant caste in Haryana and the western UP. Marathas are dominant caste in Maharashtra. Reddis, Kammas, and Kapus in Andhra Pradesh. Lingayats and Okkalingas in Karnataka. So, if we see the history of caste politics in India, it is present since ancient times. Hinduism denoted the alliance of Brahmins, Kshatriyas. So, Buddhism denoted alliance of Vaishyas and Kshatriyas. Britishers also promoted caste politics. They conducted caste survey. Communal award aimed to giving separate electorate to the different castes, example, Dalits. So, the beginning of coalition politics since 1989 saw the increasing regionalization of Indian party system. That is, more and more regional parties at center, which means greater role of caste in Indian politics. So, the role of caste in Indian politics is known as mandalization of Indian politics. We can categorize Indian society into three prominent groups. One is upper castes, another one is OBCs, other backward classes, third one is Dalits. In Indian context, even non-Hindus, including Muslims, have caste system. So the religion and the caste is a overlapping term. So Muslims in India can be considered as a caste. They can fit in the either OBCs or Dalits. We see the combination of Yadavs and Muslims in Samajwadi Party and RJD. We can also see the combination of Dalits and Muslims in Bahujan Samaj Party. Rise of Bahujan Samaj Party had impacted the fortunes of Congress in a big way. It has taken away the Dalits and Muslims from vote bank of Congress. And Muslim vote bank also got divided. Congress had lost its entire base because even Muslims have left Congress for other parties. So though still Congress represents Muslim votes and the votes of other minorities, primarily Christians. So if we see the role of caste in Indian politics, there is lack of consensus among the scholars whether caste has strengthened Indian politics. Some believe that caste has strengthened Indian democracy. For example, Rajni Kothari, Christopher Jaffarlet, Yogendra Yadav, Satish Deshpande. On the other hand, some are against the role of caste as it weakens democracy. They considered it as threat from long-term perspective. So, if you see the politicization of caste, it shows how politics have changed the nature of caste. Earlier, caste was important for ritual purposes. Now, caste is important for secular benefits like employment, education, etc. Normally understood as a disintegrative force, but democracy has compelled different castes to integrate. So this is about caste in Indian politics. Another thing is religion in Indian politics. Religion and politics has always been together. Religion and politics is neither new nor unique to India. It is universal phenomenon because there is considerable increase in use of religion since end of Cold War. So the end of clash of ideologies led to clash of civilizations. So secular ideologies gave way to religious fundamentalism of all sorts around the world. So like any other ism, communalism is also a political ideology. The purpose of political ideology is the mobilization of voters. If we see in Indian political system, every party using these things like caste and religion for their political benefits. So if we see every political party is using caste religion for their vote bank. So communalism is a politics of identity. Identity politics is appealing to passion or emotions of people. So identity politics is always violent condition. So as Aristotle said, man is a social animal, man is dominated by passions. Once passion is appealed, raised, they become uncontrollable. So reason will end and violence is bound to happen. So there is nothing wrong in being emotional or passionate about one's own religion, culture, or language. However, it is wrong on part of elites to use people by appealing to issue for which people are emotional. So if you see, according to British historians, Indians have always been communal. So the politics in subcontinent has always been communal. Marxist historian Romila Thapar challenges the Orientalist discourse, suggesting that there were no communal violence on the subcontinent before the advent of British, though there were local sectarian conflicts. So, as suggested by Edward said, it was politically motivated project. So, after the entry of British only, the British started appeasement of Hindus, as though Muslims were responsible for 1857 Sipahi mutiny. British left Hindus for sake of minorities, which are always better partners for imperialists. And British announced Bengal partition in 1905 to divide Indians. And in 1906, Muslim League was formed in Dhaka. In 1909, statutory recognition that Muslims are separate community from Hindus. So this is all about evolution of communal politics during this period. So in 1923, Savarkar gave the theory of Hindutva, and Savarkar formed in 1915 Hindu Mahasabha against Muslim League, and in 1925 the formation of RSS, Egdewar and Gaularkar. It was against pan-Islamian Islamism, and RSS promoted militant form of Hinduism to overcome Hindu sense of vulnerability. In 1932, Ramsay MacDonald Award, after separating different communities on ground of religion, British wanted to reduce Hindus to minority. And all these developments ultimately culminated into partition on grounds of religion, and the subcontinent suffered one of the worst forms of communal violence. In post-independence also, there was no major riot in the country, but bitterness of partition was continuing. Nehru could maintain harmony partly because the position of Congress remained unchallengeable, and also because government had put ban on communal organization. So, if you see the communalism in 1990s, there is phenomenal rise in communal politics in 1990s. So, since 1990s, there is growth of communal parties. VP Singh was unable to manage the coalition. Insurgency in Kashmir and Punjab, economic challenges played caste card by announcing implementation of Mandal Commission. So Mandal Commission had consequences for BJP. It means division of Hindus on caste grounds. So hence BJP had to fall back on Ram Mandir. Congress becoming fearful of getting marginalized, tried to appease Hindus by opening Rama Janmabhoomi. Congress followed double appeasement to appease Muslims who are angry at Rama Janmabhoomi. Congress nullified revolutionary Supreme Court judgment of Shabano case, and Congress hijacking Mandir agenda left BJP more insecure, and no option but the start Ratha Yatra. It culminated in demolition of Babri Masjid and consequently Mumbai riots, Godhra riots, Gujarat riots, and Muzaffarnagar riots. So these are all about communalism in Indian political system. So because of India is a diverse country and different models can be applied to different parts of the country, in some parts, riots are the result of politicization of the issues, while in some other parts there exists historic empty in communities. So this is all about caste and religion in Indian political system. So if you see the situation in South, OBCs are more dominant and OBC politics is older and more mature. So in South, leaders like Jyotiba Phule founded Satyashodak Samaj, E.V. Ramaswamy Nayakar started self-respect movement, Sri Narayan Guru, Sri Narayana Dharma Paripalana Yoga. They were successful in strengthening the consciousness among OBCs. Because of the numerical strength, Brahmins were not in a positions to counter the challenge. So in South, ethnicization took place. It has led to assertion of Dravidian identity. So if we see the OBC politics in North India, because of movements like Arya Samaj, Shuddhi movement, there has been greater influence of Vedic region. So in North, more than one upper caste, hence not easy for backward to counter. So in North, majorly backwards went for Sanskritization, and thus Brahmanism continued. Instead of autonomous parties like Dravida Kadga, OBCs in North remained as part of Congress for long. So hegemony of Brahmanism can be observed in North India. So hence there is late arrival of OBCs in political scene in North as a autonomous force. So if you see the Dalit politics in India also, Dalit mobilization in India goes back to pre-independence time. So it is assertion of Dalits against their exploitation by upper caste or upper caste Hindus. So the biggest contribution towards politicization of Dalits is of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Within Dalits, there had been three choices for their upliftment. One is co-option, and the second one is autonomy, and the third one is radicalism. So so Dalit to remain with Congress, example leaders like Babu Jagjivan Ram preferred co-option, and approach of Ambedkar preferred constitutional approach, but Dalits should be an autonomous force. So this approach is represented by Kansiram, the founder of BSP. The slogan of BSP was Baba Tera Kam Adura Kansiram Karega Pura. So BSP represents blue flag with elephant. Blue flag represents the sky. Elephant represents the numerical strength. So the third one is radicalism. Radicalism among Dalits is inspired by Marxist idea of struggle and revolution. So Ambedkar had rejected the approach inspired by Black Panthers movement in USA, disappointed with the politics of co-option. Certain sections of Dalit formed Dalit Panthers. So in recent years, there is a revival of radicalism as symbolized by Algar Parshad, Bhim Army, etc. So this is all about caste, religion in Indian political system. So today I am closing the session, and tomorrow we will meet again and discuss the tomorrow we will continue our syllabus. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, one and all. Is there any doubts regarding today's lesson? I will share the important notes in last class. Okay. Thank you for all. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you. I am closing the session. Time, same time, 4:30 to 5:30. I have shared toll-free number of university help desk number. You may contact them. Any other details. Thank you all.